Welcome to the live stream lineup. It's time for the show, baby.
Get comfortable, I'm about to get comfortable. We don't consistently do what we do. Talking is talk, walking is walk. I'm about to get comfortable. I'm about to get comfortable. Oh, they don't like that. Oh, cause I'm here and ain't going nowhere. And I'm about to get comfortable. I'm about to get comfortable. We don't consistently do what we do. Talking is talk, walking is walk. I'm about to get comfortable. I'm about to get comfortable. Oh, they don't like that. Oh, cause I'm here and ain't going nowhere.
The question for me is, can I play without cheating this game? The day I can't give the game everything on the floor is the day I'll be done. Lucky for you guys, that day is not today.
What's going on, y'all? I'm gonna have to do a little intermission, so I gotta handle some kid business, but I'm gonna be back before the show starts, so hold on.
about to get comfortable, I'm about to get comfortable, We don't consistently do what we do. Talking is talk, walking is walk. I'm about to get comfortable, I'm about to get comfortable, Oh, they don't like that. Oh, cause I'm here and ain't going nowhere. I'm about to get comfortable, I'm about to get comfortable, We don't consistently do what we do. Talking is talk, walking is walk. I'm about to get comfortable, I'm about to get comfortable, Oh, they don't like that. Oh, cause I'm here and ain't going nowhere.
The question for me is, can I play without cheating this game? The day I can't give the game everything on the floor is the day I'll be done. Lucky for you guys, that day is not today.
All right, what's happening, y'all? What's happening? Man, oh man, I am started the show, right? And daughter decided to have an accident as soon as I started. But waiting for this show to start. Shout out to my man BX Mel in the building. I see you, sir. See you, man. Waiting for this the show to start. I got it. It will be audio only, unfortunately. For some reason, streaming it on Fox News won't work, and I don't see it on Fox News YouTube page. So, but I do have it. It will be audio only, and we're gonna run that here in a second. So, let me make sure it's not on there, because I definitely didn't see it on there. But hopefully everybody's doing well. See quite a few people in here, man. What's going on with everybody? This is going to be a little different show. I'm pretty much going to just play this. Kamala Harris and Bret Baier at 6 p.m. So, all right, y'all give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna go to this quick little intro screen. Give me 2 minutes, all right, and then we're gonna start the show. All right, let's go. Let's go, y'all.
150 countries. How many illegal immigrants would you estimate your administration has released into the country over the last 3.5 years?
Well, I'm glad you raised the issue of immigration, because I agree with you. It is a topic of discussion that people want to rightly have. And you know what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah, but
right
do you,
now,
just a number. Do you think it's 1 million, 3 million?
Brett, let's just get to the point, okay? The point is that we have a broken immigration system that needs to be repaired.
So your Homeland Security Secretary said that 85% of apprehensions.
I'm not finished. We have
it's a
an
rough
immigration
estimate of
system
6 million people have been released into the country. And let me just finish. I'll get to the question, I promise you.
I was beginning to answer.
And when you came into office, your administration immediately reversed a number of Trump border policies. Most significantly, the policy that required illegal immigrants to be detained through deportation, either in the U.S. or in Mexico. And you switched that policy. They were released from custody awaiting trial. So instead, included in those were a large number of single men, adult men, who went on to commit heinous crimes. So, looking back, do you regret the decision to terminate Remain in Mexico at the beginning of your administration?
At the beginning of our administration, within practically hours of taking the oath, the first bill that we offered Congress, before we worked on infrastructure, before the Inflation Reduction Act, before the Chips and Science Act, before the bipartisan Safer Communities Act, the first bill, practically within hours of taking the oath, was a bill to fix our immigration system.
Yes, ma'am. It was called the U.S. Citizenship Act of 2021.
Exactly.
It was essentially a pathway to citizenship for the...
Yes, ma'am. May I finish responding, please?
He's trying it.
You had the White House and the House and the Senate, and they didn't bring up that bill.
I'm in the middle of responding to the point you're raising, and I'd like to finish.
Because you filibuster everything. Word salad.
We recognized from day one that, to the point of this being your first question, it is a priority for us as a nation and for the American people. And our focus has been on fixing a problem. And from day one, then, we have done a number of things, including to address our asylum system and put more resources, getting more judges, what we needed to do to tighten up penalties and increase penalties for illegal crossings, what we needed to do to deal with points of entry between border entry points. That's the work we did, and we worked on supporting what was a bipartisan effort, including some of the most conservative members of the United States Congress, to actually strengthen the border. That border bill would have put 1,500 more border agents at the border, which is why I believe the Border Patrol agents supported the bill. It would have allowed us to stem the flow of fentanyl coming into the United States, which is a scourge affecting people of every background, every geographic location in our country, killing people. It would have allowed us to put more resources into prosecuting transnational criminal organizations, which I have done as the Attorney General, former Attorney General of a border state.
Madam Vice President, a couple of things.
Prosecuted trafficking of drugs, guns, and human beings. And Donald Trump, but let me just finish.
6 Democrats voted against that bill.
Learned about that bill and told them to kill it because he preferred to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem. And in this election, this is rightly a discussion that the American people want to have. And what they want are solutions, and they want a president of the United States who's not playing political games with the issue,
I hear you,
but actually is focused on fixing it.
6 Democrats voted against that bill. It would have allowed 1.8 million illegal immigrants into the country a year. A lot of conservatives had a problem with it. These are the 6 Democrats. But more importantly, back to the original premise, Jocelyn Nungari, Rachel Morin, Laken Riley, they are young women who were brutally assaulted and killed by some of the men who were released at the beginning of the
she ain't ready for this
well
question, y'all.
before a negotiated bipartisan bill.
Here come the malfunction.
President Clinton actually referred to Laken Riley Sunday campaigning for you in Georgia, saying if those men had been properly vetted, Laken Riley probably would not have been killed. So if it wouldn't have happened, this is well before any negotiation. This is well before Donald Trump got involved in the politics. This is a specific policy decision by your administration to release these men into the country. So what I'm saying to you, do you owe those families an apology?
Let me just say, first of all, those are tragic cases. There's no question about that. There is no question about that. And I can't imagine the pain that the families of those victims have experienced for a loss that should not have occurred. So that is true. It is also true that if a border security had actually been passed 9 months ago, it would be 9 months that we would have had more border agents at the border, more support for the folks who are working around the clock trying to hold it all together.
Madam Vice President.
To ensure that no future harm would occur. And this election in 20 days will determine whether we have a president of the United States who actually cares more about fixing a problem, even if it is not to their political advantage in an election, because there was a solution, Bret.
Madam Vice President, it was a policy decision in the early part of your administration. I will let one of the mothers talk about it. Take a listen.
Because of the Biden-Harris administration open border policies catch and release, they were enrolled in the Alternatives to Detention program. This meant that they were released into the United States. It was not even a full 3 weeks later that they would take my daughter, Jocelyn Nungare's life. I believe the Biden-Harris administration open border policies are responsible for the death of my daughter.
That's the early days. So do you owe them an apology is what I'm saying.
I will tell you that I am so sorry for her loss. I am so sorry for her loss, sincerely. But let's talk about what is happening right now with an individual who does not want to participate in solutions. Let's talk about that as well.
But do you want to answer
in all fairness, I told you, I feel awful for what she and her family have experienced.
During that time, you said repeatedly that the border was secure. When in your mind did it start becoming a crisis?
I think we've had a broken immigration system transcending, by the way, Donald Trump's administration even before. Let's all be honest about that. I have no pride in saying that this is a perfect immigration system. I've been clear, I think we all are, that it needs to be fixed. We need more. I was just down at the border talking with border agents, and they will tell you, and I'm sure you probably, I know you investigate and you are a serious journalist. They
For 20 minutes?
We need more judges. We need to process those cases faster. We need the support for those cases that should be prosecuted.
She looks like she's about to cry, y'all.
They need more resources, and Congress ultimately is the only place that's going to get fixed, Bret.
Well,
that's how this system works.
That's the premise of this question. There were 90-plus executive orders that were rescinded in the first days. Many of those were Trump border policies. I'm not going to stay here because there's other things to talk about, but you frequently talked to the Border Patrol Union for support of that bipartisan bill, and they did. They supported it. But they also just endorsed Donald Trump and said, you've been, quote, a failure with border security. Why do you think they said that?
I think they're frustrated, and I get it. They want support. They want support, and that's what that border security bill would have done. These guys down at the border, these men and women, they're working hard. They're working around the clock. I get it.
There's a lot of people that look back at what you said in 2019 when you first ran for president. And there have been changes, and you've talked about some of them. When it comes to immigration, you supported allowing immigrants in the country illegally to apply for driver's license, to qualify for free tuition at universities, to be enrolled in free health care. Do you still support those things?
Listen, that was 5 years ago, and I'm very clear that I will follow the law. I have made that statement over and over again, and as Vice President of the United States, that's exactly what I've done, not to mention before.
If that's the case, you chose a running mate, Tim Walz, governor of Minnesota, who signed those very things into state law.
Yes.
So do you support that?
We are very clear, and I am very clear, as is Tim Walz, that we must support and enforce federal law, and that is exactly what we will do.
Keep it
So
down,
decriminalizing border crossings, like you said in 2019.
I do not believe in decriminalizing border crossings, and I've not done that as vice president. I will not do that as president.
So these are evolutions that you've had.
But let's be very clear. I'm the only person who's running for president who has prosecuted transnational criminal organizations, from the Sinaloa cartel to the Guadalajara cartel, to people who have trafficked in guns, drugs, and human beings. I have spent a significant part of my career going after people who present a threat to the safety of the American people and cross our border with the intent of doing us harm and cross our border illegally. And I will do that work as vice president. I take that work quite seriously.
This is a time when voters, especially here in Pennsylvania, are inundated with commercials and ads. They just want it to stop because it's every commercial. But many of them add noise, but a few of them seem to break through. This particular one from the Trump campaign has gotten a lot of attention.
Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners.
Surgery.
For prisoners.
For prisoners. Every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access.
Got her own voice on it.
So are you still in support of using taxpayer dollars to help prison inmates or detained illegal aliens to transition to another gender?
I will follow the law, and it's a law that Donald Trump actually followed. You're probably familiar with, now it's a public report, that under Donald Trump's administration, these surgeries were available on a medical necessity basis.
So she's going to
people in the federal prison system. And I think, frankly, that ad from the Trump campaign is a little bit of like throwing, stones when you're living in a glass house.
The Trump aides say that he never advocated for that prison policy and no gender transition surgeries
you know what? You got to take responsible for what happened in your administration.
Yeah, no surgeries happened in his presidency.
It's in black and white.
Would you still advocate for using taxpayer dollars for gender reassignment?
I
Back
would
to the
follow
question.
the law, just as I
yes.
think Donald Trump would say he did.
You would have a say as president.
Like I said, I think he spent $20 million on those ads, trying to create a sense of fear in the voters because he actually has no plan in this election that is about focusing on the needs of the American people. Whereas, at $20 million on that ad,
hit the like button, y'all.
on an issue that, as it relates to the biggest issues that affect the American people, it's really quite remote. And again, his policy was no different. Look at where we are, though.
They say
on
it was
plans for
different,
the
but
American
we'll
people,
move on.
I'm offering a plan to deal with affordable housing. I'm offering a plan to deal with what we need to do to strengthen small businesses, which are
She
the
talked about
backbone
the
of
sex
America's
changes.
economy.
She's-
I am offering a plan that is about
She's failing,
taking care
bro.
of young parents and giving them the support they need.
She's failing.
My
She's
plans for the
malfunctioning.
economy will strengthen the economy, as have been reviewed by 16 Nobel laureates, Goldman Sachs, Moody's, and recently the Wall Street Journal, which have all studied our plans and have indicated my plans for our economy would strengthen our economy, his would make them weaker,
Why do you
would
think more
ignite
people say-
inflation and invite a recession by the middle of next year.
Why
Those
do
are
you-
the
She ain't
facts.
ready.
Why do you think more people say they trust him on the economy than they trust you?
I think that when you look at an analysis of our plans for what we would do as President of the United States, it has been clear to those who study and understand how economic policy works that moving forward, because I do believe the American people are ready to turn the page on the divisiveness and the type of rhetoric that has come out of Donald Trump. People are ready to chart a new way forward, and they want a president who has a plan for the future and a plan that is sound and will strengthen our country. My plan for the economy does exactly that. His plan would be, again, to give tax cuts to billionaires and the biggest corporations in our country and blow up our deficit.
It's interesting you said turn the page, Madam Vice President. You were asked on 2 different shows last week what, if anything, you would do differently than President Biden. Here's what you said.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part
They getting her.
of most of the decisions that have had impact.
Under a Harris administration, what would the major changes be, and what would stay the same?
She getting hammered,
well,
bro.
I mean, I'm obviously not Joe Biden.
I noticed.
And so that would be one change in terms of.
Who are you?
But also,
Who
I
are
think
you?
it's important to say with, 28 days to go, I'm not Donald Trump.
So you're not Joe Biden, you're not Donald Trump, but nothing comes to mind that you would do differently?
Let me be very clear. My presidency will not be a continuation of Joe Biden's presidency. And like every new president
Yes, it
that
will.
comes into office, I will bring my life experiences, my professional experiences, and fresh and new ideas. I represent a new generation of leadership. I, for example, am someone who has not spent the majority of my career in Washington, D.C. I invite ideas, whether it be from the Republicans who are supporting me, who were just on stage with me minutes ago, and the business sector, and others who can contribute to the decisions that I make about, for example, my plan for increasing the supply of housing in America and bringing down the cost of housing, addressing the issue of small businesses, which is about working with the private sector to bring more capital and access to capital to our small business leaders, including my plan for a $25,000 down payment assistance for first-time home buyers and for small businesses, extending the tax deduction from $5,000 to $50,000.
We've heard a lot about those plans in recent days. Your campaign slogan is a new way forward, and it's time to turn the page. You've been vice president for 3.5 years. So what are you turning the page from?
Well, first of all, turning the page from the last decade in which we've been burdened with the kind of rhetoric coming from Donald Trump that has been designed and implemented to divide our country and have Americans literally point fingers at each other. Rhetoric and an approach to leadership that suggests that the strength of a leader is based on who you beat down instead of what we all know. The strength of leadership is based on who you lift up. The strength of an American president, which is one who understands that the vast majority of us have more in common than what separates us.
Madam Vice President, more than 70% of people
that is about turning the page on rhetoric that
Thank
people
you,
are frankly exhausted of, Brett.
More than 70% of people tell the country is on the wrong track. They say the country is on the wrong track. If it's on the wrong track,
there's a chart that says 79%
3.5 years
track.
of you being vice president and President Biden being president. That is what
she
they're
looks
saying.
like she's going to shit her pants.
Why are they saying that? If you're turning the page, you've been in office for 3.5 years.
And Donald Trump has been running for office.
But you've been the person holding the office.
Come on.
Madam
You
Vice
and I
President.
both know what I'm talking about. You and I both know what I'm talking about.
I actually don't. What are you talking about?
What I'm talking about is that over the last decade,
But
people
you're the
have
lever of
become,
power.
but listen, over the last decade, it is clear to me, and certainly the Republicans who are on stage with me, the former chief of staff to the president, Donald Trump,
Cheney,
former defense secretaries, national security advisor, and his vice president, one that he is unfit to serve, that he is unstable.
Deflection. She's not answering the question. It's about to be Trump bash, Trump bash, Trump bash.
With someone who professes to be a leader who spends full-time demeaning
Get her back on track, Brett.
and
Come on, Brett. Bring her
engaging
in
personal grievances
Bring her in,
and
Brett.
it being about him
Madam
instead
Vice
of
President.
the
There you
American
go.
people.
If
People
that's the
are
case,
tired of that.
There you
That's
go.
the case. Why is half the country supporting him? Why is he beating you in a lot of swing states? Why, if he's as bad as you say, that half of this country is now supporting this person who could be the 47th president of the United States? Why is that happening?
This is an election for president of the United States. It's not supposed to be easy.
I know, but
It's not supposed to be.
She's
it is
horrible.
not supposed to be a
So
cakewalk
are they misguided, the
for anyone.
50%?
Listen,
Are they stupid? What
oh
is
God,
it?
I would never say that about the American people. And in
You said it
fact,
about
if
the
you
18 to
listen to
24-year-olds.
Donald Trump, if you watch any of his rallies, he's the one who tends to demean and belittle and diminish the American people. He's the one who talks about an enemy within, an enemy within, talking about the American people, suggesting he would turn the American military on the American people.
We asked that question to the former president today. Harris Faulkner had a town hall.
Oh, they are
And
prepared
this
for
is how
her,
he
bro.
responded.
Yes.
I heard about that. They were saying I was like threatening. I'm not threatening anybody. They're the ones doing the threatening. They do phony investigations. I've been investigated more than Alphonse Capone. He was the greatest gangster. No, it's true. No, but think of it. It's called weaponization of government. It's a terrible thing.
So,
Brett, I'm sorry, and with all due respect, that clip was not what he has been saying about the enemy within that he has repeated when he's speaking about the American people. That's not what you just showed.
Well, he was asked about that specific...
No, that's not what you just showed. In all fairness and respect to you,
that was the question that we asked him.
You didn't show that, and here's the bottom line. He has repeated it many times, and you and I both know that. And you and I both know that he has talked about turning the American military on the American people. He has talked about going after people who are engaged in peaceful protest. He has talked about locking people up because they disagree with him. This is a democracy. And in a democracy, the President of the United States, in the United States of America, should be willing to be able to handle criticism without saying he'd lock people up for doing it. And this is what is at stake,
Bret.
which is why you have someone like the former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
She just said this
saying
already.
what Mark Milley has said about Donald Trump being a threat to the United States of America.
He's quoted in the Bob Woodward book that way, yes. Let me ask you this.
Shut up,
Madam Vice
Antonio.
President. You call
let's not
Donald
diminish
Trump.
the significance
you
of that.
call Donald Trump. He's misguided. You say now
He's
unstable.
He is unstable, Brett.
He's not well. You say he's mentally not stable.
These are your words.
Let me ask you this. You told many interviewers that Joe Biden was on his game, that ran around circles on his staff.
Get up.
When did you first notice that President Biden's mental faculties appeared diminished?
Joe Biden, I have watched from the Oval Office to the Situation Room, and he has the judgment and the experience to do exactly what he has done in making very important decisions on behalf of the American people.
There were no concerns raised?
Brett, Joe Biden is not on the ballot.
I understand.
And Donald Trump is.
Why?
And Donald Trump
After George Clooney said within a few minutes of talking to President Biden at a fundraiser that he thought this was not the same Joe Biden that we saw on the
Dominant.
stage.
Donald Trump is on the ballot.
I understand. You met with him at least once a week for 3.5 years. You didn't have any concerns?
I think the American people have a concern about Donald Trump, which is why the people who know him best, including leaders of our national security community, have all spoken out. Even people who worked for him in the Oval Office, worked with him in the Situation Room,
She's done.
and have said he is unfit and dangerous and should never be president of the United States again,
light voice.
including his former vice president, which is why the job was open for him to choose another running mate. So that is a fact. That is a fact.
Madam Vice President, two more things. You were asked on 60 Minutes about the biggest threat that the world faces, that the U.S. faces. This is what you said.
Which foreign country do you consider to be our greatest adversary?
I think there's an obvious one in mind, which is Iran. Iran has American blood on their hands, okay? This attack on Israel, 200 ballistic missiles. What we need to do to ensure that Iran never achieves the ability to be a nuclear power, that is one of my highest priorities.
A number of experts thought you would say China. The FBI director had said that. But you said Iran. If that's the case, what do you say to critics who look at the actions of your administration and say you're not acting like Iran is the #1 threat?
Well, I will tell you most recently, whether it was in April or in October, and then several hours on each occasion, that Iran posed a threat to Israel. I was there. Most recently in the Situation Room, in the most recent attack, working with the heads of our military and doing what America must always do to defend and to support Israel in its requirement to defend itself, and to give American support to be able to allow Israel to have the resources to defend itself against attack, including from Iran and Iran's terrorist proxies in the region.
Right.
And that
But those
is,
proxies were getting funded by
my
Iran.
commitment to that is unyielding and unwavering.
Critics just say that you either relaxed or failed to enforce sanctions on Iran, allowing all of this money to flow into Iran, like billions.
Let's go back to Donald Trump, who pulled out of a deal that would have actually put Iran
they
in
cannot
check.
help themselves to Donald Trump
During
bash.
Donald Trump's
They
administration,
can't help it.
that
Iran regime.
that we had an American military base that was attacked, where American soldiers suffered traumatic brain injuries, and Donald Trump dismissed them as headaches, not to mention how Donald Trump has treated and talked about America's military and military service people, calling them suckers and losers,
Hamas,
has diminished
and
the significance.
We're talking over each other. I apologize.
Well, I would like that we would have a conversation that is grounded in full assessment of the facts.
No, because
which includes, I think this interview is supposed to be about the choices that your viewers should be presented about this election, and the contrast is important.
Yes, ma'am.
And on the subject of Iran, I am offering.
You're not saying anything, ma'am.
What should be an important contrast that is presented for folks to make a decision
and there are critics
that they feel.
who look at what the administration did and say and think differently. Madam Vice President, they're wrapping me very hard here. I hope you got to say what you wanted to say about Donald Trump. There are a lot of things that
they want her to get off.
There are a lot of things that people want to learn about you and your policies, and that's why
I invite everyone to go to kamalaharris.com, and you will see that
Donate.
I have 80 pages of policies that are quite comprehensive and should be accessible to anyone who would like to read them. And it includes what I intend to do about affordable housing, what I intend to do about small businesses, what I do.
And that's
they trying to get her out of Dodge.
To see where you were in 2019 and where you are now.
America's military and ensure we have the most lethal and best
Look,
fighting force
she's
in
a
the
machine.
world.
Madam Vice President,
And
they're giving me a hard rap
Well,
here.
I thank you for the time.
I thank you for the time.
It's good to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
She's a robot. That's it, y'all.
Okay.
What?
Let's bring
that
in
was
panel.
it.
Martha McCallum, anchored
They
executive
got
editor
her
of the
out
story.
of Dodge, bro. They got her out of there. I heard in this interview, I didn't say it on the camera. I heard footsteps in, and maybe some of y'all heard it. I heard footsteps in the during the interview, and that was probably somebody getting
up. It was
up.
an incredible 30 minutes. Well spent by both of you.
Oh, she's tanking that campaign, boy.
And I had to ask myself, where's the joy? There's no joy here. She came in kind of.
I'm gonna pause it. Bret about to come on in a second. Ooh wee! You talk about bad. You talk about bad. What's going? Thank you, Elena, earlier, who said, "What's up? Thank you for streaming it." Yes, Tommy. I think it ended early because Bret said twice that they're forcing me to end it. I heard footsteps in during the interview towards the end of it, and I think that was somebody getting up or making noise to stop this interview. Oh, yes. Hold on. Let me celebrate, y'all. Hold on. And this is my best live stream. We had 100 and some people on this stage. Oh, bro. This is what we have been asking for from the beginning of her hand selection that Trump has been getting time after time after time. He constantly gets questions. Hold on one second. This has been constant. Let's hear what Bret Baier has to say real quick, y'all. Oh man, this is good.
Sometimes, there's an effort to filibuster and there's an effort to create a moment, and I think that was their goal coming in. I tried to redirect numerous times without interrupting too much, but at some point you kind of have to redirect to get back in the game.
Absolutely, and Bret, I thought you did a masterful job.
Great job.
This is the kind of interview that we should see a lot of on the campaign trail. And we have seen Trump, and comes to mind the Bloomberg interview yesterday where he was getting pushback. She has not exposed herself to this kind
Hit
of
the like
moment.
button.
And, there were numerous occasions where she appeared to be scrambling a bit. And that her answers were thin. I thought you really asked the questions that a lot of Americans want answers to, which is, how did you let all these millions of people come into the country, and do you have any regrets about it? And I think her answers were not good on that, and about the economy. When you asked her what would be different under a Harris administration as opposed to a Biden administration, the things that she brought up was that she would listen to Republicans and she would listen to the business sector. She also mentioned the $25,000, which we've heard about, that she offers home buyers. But we didn't get a clear.
Let me get y'all thoughts on this.
What do you stand for?
We got quite a
what
few
would America
people in here.
Look like
What's going
under
on,
a
Michelle?
Kamala Harris economy. So I think that was a rough
Let
moment.
me get y'all thoughts.
Let me play this soundbite. It's on Turning the Page, stop 3.
Let's hear what she said on this and talk about
If
it.
you're turning the page, you've been in office for 3.5 years.
And Donald Trump has been running for office.
But you've been the person holding the office.
Come on.
Madam
You and I
Come
both
on,
know
come
what I'm
on.
talking
She was
about.
hoping he
You
would
and
bite
I
on it.
both know what I'm talking
I actually
about.
don't. What are you talking about?
What I'm talking about is that over the last decade,
But
people
you're the
have
lever of
become.
power.
But listen,
He was in
over
for
the
4
last
years.
decade, it is clear to me, and certainly the Republicans who are on stage with me, the former chief of staff to the president, Donald Trump, former defense secretaries, national security advisor, and his vice president. One, that he is unfit to serve, that he is unstable, that he is dangerous.
He. Sound like my little
Harold, at that point,
7-year-old.
I really didn't know what she was talking about because she was going back a decade and talking about Donald Trump. So, thoughts overall?
So first off, you did a great job. You did a great job
This is Harold,
because
the
you
Democrat.
asked the tough questions and you went back at her with tough questions. And she should be pleased with how she performed this evening. I think what Dana and Martha are saying, there's a lot of truth to some of the answers that I would have wanted a more wholesome or full answer.
We ain't trying to hear that bull crap. All right, let me get y'all sentiment, man. Let me see what's going on. So my man BX was telling us from the beginning of the thing, you know what, man, I forgot to go get my dang salad. He said, bring the croutons, bring the dressing, because the word salad is heavy tonight. And, ooh, she really couldn't get to the word salad tonight, the BX mail. She started to become scripted from what I seen. And Bret was interrupting it and stopping it right as it was happening. There was some word salads in there, though. The dressing was there. It was there. So, Harold, you know, Harold, he always want to try to give you a good answer. He's telling Harold without saying it is telling you she did a bad job. He's telling you that she didn't do a great job that he wanted her to do. Okay, y'all. Finally, we have gotten a regular interview from Kamala Harris. Let me turn this down. My bad for shouting, y'all. I'm just excited, man. We've gotten a real interview from Kamala Harris. It has taken almost 3 months, 2.5, 3 months to get one. Trump, Vance have been getting these things early in their campaign, and it's been normal. That's why they've been getting sound bites and all this stuff. Her campaign is a desperation. They're doing horrible with Muslims. They're doing bad with Jews. They're even doing bad with black men. And they had to come on Fox News because her campaign is sinking. And she went to the wrong place, baby. I was so glad when my man Orders hit me up on Monday's live stream and said, hey, Fox News on Wednesday. I said, she about to get trashed. She was not the Kamala that we have seen for the last 2 months because she finally got pressed. And what I seen, she was so uncomfortable. Her eyes got glassy. It looked like she was going to shit on herself. I'm sorry if y'all got kids around. Well, my kids can't hear me. But she literally almost crapped her pants. And she wanted to go straight to the Trump bash when she couldn't answer a question. She couldn't get to it, though. Bret was interrupting her as soon as she started down that same script. And this is what we needed to see. And at the very end of it, the very last question, when Tommy said the date ended, she was going through a script, Tommy. She was literally going through the script as he was like trying to wrap it up. She was going through her script, talking over him because that's all she's good for. This, my friends, won't win you any votes. And what I liked about Fox News, they played the clips. They played clips of her actually saying the things that she said. They played the clips of things that she needed to react to. They mentioned Laken Riley's name. They told her, hey, do you apologize for some of these mothers of the migrants you let in that have been a victim of migrant crime? She couldn't answer the question. Took her 2 times. She was not ready for this interview. This is what you call a prepared interview. They're prepared for the person who comes to ask the real tough questions. Had she taken these questions early on in her campaign, she would possibly be a much sharper candidate. Hold on. Sorry, I'm trying to literally manage this and manage kids. So, yeah, man, this was great. This was actually a very great interview. Let me see if we can get another one in here. Let's see.
But if people have doubt,
yeah, I mean, I think that this is exactly what was needed. This is not a good thing with 3 weeks to go in the campaign. I don't think she won over any votes for coming on Fox News. It shows that she can't handle tough questions. She can't handle pressure. And what do we want as American people who have to understand that we have to go up against these world leaders and all these people? We want someone who can handle pressure, who can handle stress. She didn't do well. She didn't do well. Meanwhile, Trump is talking to Bloomberg, who they hate his guts. He sat down for a whole hour and answered questions about the economy. Pressure. Doing things that you don't have to do, or doing things that you have to do even when you don't want to do them. It's kind of what men do, but either way, it's pretty funny how he shut him down. He's able to take tough interviews and he's able to conduct himself and show dominance. Bret dominated that entire interview. He didn't give her that chance of, I'm speaking. She tried it twice. And she couldn't get it off. She couldn't get it off. Let me see what y'all saying, man. I'm just excited. I'm excited to see the downfall of Kamala Harris. It's happening very quickly. Shout out to Brian. Brian says the Dems would have kicked her off like they did Joe if she would have done this earlier and implanted who knows who. We don't know. But the whole entire plan was to keep her on a easy ride all the way to November. But the problem with politics is a lot of things happen in this election cycle. A lot would have happened earlier. So, Healer says, not many questions because she talks and doesn't say anything. And that's the thing. Yesterday, she just did a town hall in Detroit, right? That's my place, right? It's my city. And Charlemagne just pretty much let her talk. And she was just, and Charlemagne even said in a question, it was a comment. He said, yeah, okay, you filibustered that one. Okay. Like she just talks and she rambles. And Bret made sure to get her right back on track. All right. Hold on one second. All right. So Jessica Norris, shout out to Jessica Norris. She said, Bret did a great job. Trump, Vance, 2024.
Audio Jungle.
So, yes, I agree. Trump 2024. Meanwhile, Trump just did a town hall with women from Georgia. I didn't see all of it, but I'm sure he handled himself pretty well. Oh yeah, let's get to Brooklyn Lou, the skeptic. We always got to get one. Or have one, right? So let's see would you like to Brooklyn, would you like for me to drop the link so you can come on and tell me your thoughts about Kamala Harris and why you're voting for her? I'll drop the link after I read your comment. All right, let me reset this. I need one of y'all to come up. Y'all got to stop being so scary. Dude, Trump was just as bad, if not worse, with Bloomberg. This interview was nothing. You are seeing what you want to see. Just admit it. There's nothing she could have said that you would have liked. That sounds like you guys in Trump derangement syndrome. All right. So let me see something. Link to come up. I'm watching kids too at the same time. So, Would you like to come on here and tell me why you think that I wouldn't have liked any of her answers? She showed us who she's been this entire time. She shows us how phony she is. She shows us that she's lied time after time. She shows us she's not ready to run the country. She shows us that what she's tasked to do, which is to be in charge of the border or root cause of the border, which she hasn't told us the root cause of it. She's failed at it. I don't want someone breaking things to fix another thing. I just don't. And then this is what he said. Shout out to Didi. He said, Trump got a standing ovation after Bloomberg interview. I seen that. So Mr. Brooklyn here is saying that he doesn't, there's not an answer I would have liked. He did worse in Bloomberg. How? Standing ovation afterwards. He sat down and talked business for an entire hour. You won't catch Kamala sitting down talking business and economics for an hour. She's going to talk about Trump for half of it. I'm starting to believe that a lot of Democrats are obsessed with Trump more than the Trump Republicans. I think they're more obsessed with them than MAGA supporters, to be honest. Y'all know everything about the man. Everything. Y'all are insane. Yeah, like seriously, she didn't say anything. She didn't say. And here's the thing, Brooklyn. We're choosing the president to run as commander in chief, right? They have to have they got to have not dominance. I don't want to say dominance, but they got to have a certain thing about them that screams respect, that screams I'm ready for pressure, that screams all of these things, right? That screams like I'm ready to take on the tough job for the American people. She's not that. She don't even want to take tough questions. Right? And let me tell you something else, Brooklyn. As a black man, I just seen her plan, her 5 bullet point plan. It's ridiculous. Highly disrespectful. Money and weed is what she's trying to offer black men if she gets in office. And she's in right now. Why doesn't she do that right now? And then these are forgivable loans. Up to $20,000. Last time I checked, if it was a forgivable loan, why don't you call it a grant? So you're gonna make people pay for that. Let me tell you something. Her answers are ridiculous. They're ridiculous. And every answer she has Trump bashing in it. Let me see what Bret Baier has to say, man.
Joe Biden is not on the ballot.
I understand.
And Donald Trump
but
is.
You talked about it.
And Donald Trump
After George Clooney said within a few minutes of talking to President Biden at a fundraiser that he thought this was not the same Joe Biden that we saw on the debate stage.
Donald Trump is on the ballot.
I understand. You met with him at least once a week for 3.5 years. You didn't have any concerns?
Not going to answer
I think the American people have a concern about Donald Trump.
See? Right to Donald Trump.
Bert, what about that?
Right to him.
You know, she's never.
I think that was the worst answer.
About that and everything that came.
I thought that was her worst moment, Brett. I mean, she really had no answer to that, and her answer was, to try to turn it back to Donald Trump, which will maybe be appreciated by her partisans. But if anybody was concerned about her for having been so oblivious, apparently, or covering up President Biden's condition, that certainly would not resolve that. Her answer to your first question was week 2. So I think if people are coming into this and they're worried about the border and they're worried about the economy and they're worried about other issues that
they're not going to get it from her
that seem high on their list if the polls are right, I don't think this interview with you would resolve them in her favor particularly. So I think
she was asked about Joe Biden. Where Brooklyn ass at? She was asked about Joe Biden. And she immediately did what? She went straight to Trump. Just look. She went straight to Trump.
Wait a minute.
It's like, wait, he asked you about his condition. He said he's seen George Clooney. George Clooney said that when he seen him, he knew something was off. You didn't notice anything for 3.5 years? Donald Trump. What? No way you didn't just do that, man. So this was a clear indication that she was not ready for this interview. I don't know why her campaign did it. And this is why she didn't take the Fox News debate, but she's taking a Fox News interview when her polls are in shambles. And it's funny how the Democrats, all of a sudden, I see y'all in my comments, all of a sudden, oh, yeah, the polls. Yeah, we're not going to look at the polls. Yeah, now all of a sudden you believe the polls, huh? It's funny how when she had her euphoric moment and everybody was freaking, fawning over her and she was getting money on money on money and her polls were up, everybody was like, she's up in the polls. She slips and dips. And all of a sudden, oh, you guys are believing the polls. That's not it. Why is she on a media blitz just like Joe Biden was immediately after the debate?
Sensational.
Y'all don't see it? Why did Joe Biden go on the media blitz? Because he couldn't raise the money from the donors. There were $90 million on hold on lock and key until he can prove that he could actually be a good candidate. They bumped him out after they put him on a media blitz because he was doing so bad. She was doing so good. Why all of a sudden in the last week, she's going on a bunch of media blitzes? The View, 60 Minutes, Howard Stern, Bret Baier, all of these things. Why is that? Because she dipped in the polls just like Joe Biden. They're scared and they're nervous that she's going to mess around and lose the election. But had they listened and watched the numbers, they would have known that she was not that much better than Biden in general. No DNC bump. No post-debate bump. They're nervous. Listen, bro. I got about 10 minutes on this thing, right? He says, gonna be ready soon. I have to grab another laptop and log into the webcam. Good. You got about 10 minutes. Where we at? 6:59, 6:49. You got about 10 minutes, bro. Biden don't even like her. Yeah, Biden. Look, Brian, low-key Biden has been campaigning for Trump lately. He been straight up coming on here. He been making sure y'all knew that he was a part of Hurricane Milton. He made sure to go every time she was going on her rallies. He came on there and said, "Hey, you ain't taking my spotlight." I think we'll learn more about this on the Democratic downfall. If she loses the election, you'll hear about Joe Biden and probably how he felt. But he's been campaigning for MAGA lately. He's been campaigning for MAGA lately, man. He has been. And so I believe he is. You're not scared, are you? What? No, I'm not scared to have a conversation. You know how many times I've dropped this link and people don't come up? And I always say, come up here. If you want to be respectful, we be respectful. If you want to be disrespectful, we can be disrespectful. I drop the link all the time because I actually like the confrontation of going back and forth and figuring out our points. But anyways, it's very funny to me how bad she is. But anyways, I'm excited, man, because I want Trump to have these same type of interviews. And he has had these same type of interviews. So is J.D. Vance. That's why he washed walls. That's why he washed tampon Timmy Sugar walls, boy. Because we need to get the real answers from these politicians. We need them. And we're not getting them from Kamala Harris. You're not. You're not getting them from her. See? Yeah. And all I do is I just want to figure out. I want to start asking the questions. I want to start seeing why do you guys go this way? And let's have a debate. Well, not a debate. Let's have a discussion. That was all. You know what I'm saying? That was all. But who do you think is sabotaging? But anyways, I just think that these questions are important because you need to be able to find out about the person you're voting for. And so Trump may go off script a lot. And he may say some silly things, and I'll be honest. But he at least can go off script. He can at least show me that he's a human being. She's literally scripted. She had a whole town hall where they had a screen right in the middle and then their teleprompter. It's like, really? You're supposed to believe in the things that you're saying, so you don't need a teleprompter for every little thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have a teleprompter when I do this show because I believe what I'm saying. Now, if I went into a more, public speaking role, okay, fine, I would have a teleprompter, but I would know how to get off and get back on because I believe what I'm saying. She doesn't. When he asked her about the gender change in the prisons, and she kept saying, "I will follow the law." That means she supports it. Well, Donald Trump, and he said, "Well, there were zero surgeries under Donald Trump, but you will support this." I will follow the law. So that means yes, lady. Why can't you answer a question? She's very bad. She's very bad. So, anyways, man. By the way, man, this is the best stream live show. We had at one point it was 100 and what? I think I seen 103 on here, and it would be when I'm freaking watching kids and trying to stream this. It would be the episode that I'm like, not as prepared for. But it is what it is. You gotta take it how you get it. Okay, where Tommy at? Oh, no, not Tommy. You idiots still believe. Oh, I'm about to say not the last election was stolen. Tommy, you idiots still believe the last election was stolen. Are you I think I see you say something earlier. You know what? Hey, you know what I want to do? I want to create a show around maybe 9:00, right? And I want to drop this link, and I want it to be the call show. And I'm gonna drop a link, man, and I'm gonna see if these Democrats can come up and articulate their point or something. I want to have a conversation. I'm gonna figure out if I'm gonna do that show or not tonight. I don't freaking know. I don't know. I don't know. Whatever. This right here is all I wanted to see. This is all I wanted to see, bro. Here we go. This is the better answer, Tommy. You still believe Biden got 81 million votes? Where is he at? Why isn't he the man? Why isn't he the man that is running right now if he got 81 million votes and he beat Donald Trump? Where is he at?
Audio Jungle.
What you mean he ain't running no more? What you mean he got overthrew by Nancy Pelosi and the Obamas? What do you mean he got invoked with the 25th Amendment? Right? What do you mean? Here we go. Give me 1 second. All right, give me a second, Zoe. What's up? Huh? All right. No. I'm gonna have her get you some food in a second. All right, who we got on here?
What is this?
It's a battery. Babe, I don't know. Let me see something real quick. Sure.
Oh, we got battery.
Give me 1 second. So I signed you number 1. I'm trying to see. I think your mic might be muted. Lou. I see you, Lou. I don't know if your mic is muted, but let me bring this up. Screen share. Actually, I'll just put it right here. Here we go. Guest 1. All right. Hold on, learn how to work it. Hold on. There you go. Assign guest number 2. There we go.
You
There
got
we
me
go.
now?
There we go. There we go. Well, not a lot of people want to call up, man, so I have to learn how to use that feature. What's going on,
Can you
Lou?
hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. I was just kidding, by the way. I hope you got that you were scared. I did not mean that.
It's all good. It's all love, man. Like I said, we can do it one or two ways. If it's respectful, it's respectful. If it turns disrespectful, that's just what it is. But either way, it's a
Well,
discussion.
I'm
But
never
yeah.
disrespectful. That ain't me.
Okay. All right then. So what is it, man? So you said well, let me ask you a question real quick. What is it about Kamala Harris that you are voting for? What is it about her that has your vote?
Well, first off, I'm not big into Kamala Harris. So
Okay.
it's not like I'm, all enthralled with her. All right. I just wouldn't vote for Trump. And for me, it's a matter of just not wanting Trump to get in. So I would vote for anybody other than him,
Okay.
except I guess if it was Satan or something. But other than Satan, I
So you
think
don't
I
think
would vote.
Trump is Satan?
No, kind
Okay.
of antichrist, but not Satan. No.
Oh, come on, man. Okay, so let me ask a better question, right? So, what is it about Trump that you you can't get with? What is it about him? Is it personality? Is it what he says? Is it how he did his job? Like, what is it about Trump that you're like, no, it just doesn't work for me?
Right. Well, kind of goes back. I'm an old man. I'm 62 years old.
Okay.
Right. So I've seen Trump since the 1980s in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I come from New York.
How about to say, are you
I
from New York? Sound like a New York
Yeah,
accent. Okay.
yeah. I'm from New York.
Okay.
I'm not living in New York right now, but I lived most of my life there. All right. Trump has been a fraud and a charlatan for
Mm.
decades, so it's nothing new. But as far as like now in the current environment of which he's in, all right, I feel that he is completely corrupt. He's proven himself to be corrupt.
Mm-hmm.
All right. He was convicted of fraud. All right. I watched and looked at the trial and the transcripts. All right. And I think he did the fraud he was said to have done. All right. And as far as January 6th,
Mm-hmm.
all right, I know that he has never accepted that he lost an election. That is undemocratic. He's the only person in my lifetime that has you know, just made a terrible mess of our democracy by not accepting defeat. I mean, I've watched candidate after candidate after candidate
Mm-hmm.
after the election is over shake hands and come back next time if they feel they could have did better. But I've watched Trump insist that he won an election, and I watched every single court say he did not. I've watched Republicans say he did not.
I
I've
got you.
watched his staff and cabinet turn against him. I've watched him say he's a threat to our democracy, and that's enough for me. I
Okay.
don't need any
So,
more.
do you believe
It's
that he did
enough.
a good? Did he do it? Did he do his job 2016 through 2020?
Well, he was president, so I don't think he was as far as like policies and things he did. Um, I don't know. I'd rank him. I don't know, middle of the road. I don't know, nothing special. That's for darn sure. I mean,
Okay. So, um, because personality wise, basically what you're telling me is I don't like Donald Trump since I've known him, growing up, him being on the TV, everything like that, and that's cool.
not being on
But
the TV. I
what I'm
know people personally that he screwed. I
okay,
know
but as
personally. It's not something that
so when
I
you
watched
well,
on TV.
I don't want to get into the personality thing, right? Because
No,
I don't
back
know
in
these things.
before
But
he was ever in
as the
politics.
president, but as a president though, as a
Before he
president,
was in politics,
well,
he
okay, as
screwed
a president,
contracts.
because
He did
I can
not
put
pay people
we can
that
bring
worked
on
for him.
dirt on like pretty much
That is
anybody.
true.
We
No,
can
no,
bring up dirt about
you
anybody.
asked me, but
But
you
as a
asked me, and
yeah, but
I
I got you.
know
I
for
got
a
you.
fact.
but
for a fact.
but none of
That
it
he did not
matters.
think.
None of it matters because he didn't become a billionaire by screwing people, right? You have to be
Oh, yes,
smart
he
to
did.
become a
Yes, he
billionaire.
did.
And so
No,
if
you
you
do
do a
not have
lot
to
of
be.
different deals, just like me, I'm a real estate investor, right? I've done a lot of different deals. Some of them have
You
been
can
really
do it
great.
legitimately, or you can scam people. He's a
Well,
scammer.
well, people could say that I'm scamming someone and I'm not, right? It's just all
Well,
their
if you're not,
interpretation
you're
of it.
not. It's not.
But
It's objective.
you
It's
don't
not.
become
It's not a
okay.
matter of accusing,
from
man.
from from one
It's
businessman
not
to another, and I'm
accusing
only I'm
you.
only going to be
It's
on this
that
conversation for a minute. You do not become a multi-billionaire by just screwing everyone. You have to have a business
you can
acumen, and you
definitely
have
do
to
that.
know how that works. You can't just screw
Okay.
everyone. Him being in
Okay.
real
Let me
estate,
tell you
you make a
something.
lot of great moves in there.
Can I
But
share something with you?
I don't really
All
want
right.
to talk about Donald Trump
No,
as
because
like
you don't
all
want
that
to
other stuff. I
know
want to talk about him
anything.
as
You
a
just want to know
president
what you
because,
want to know.
well,
Come
that
on.
doesn't change my vote. Even if if you came to me, you said Kamala Harris is a millionaire and she screwed her way to the top or she finessed people, I wouldn't care because that's not going to earn my vote. But what is going to earn my vote is the president. So you said that he was pretty middle of the road as far as the president. So you're not saying he's dead last like
I don't
Axios,
think.
and
I
you're
don't
not
think he
saying
would. No, I don't think like he's the worst president in the world. I
okay.
do think that the people like you overrate him immensely. That I think, but I don't.
Well, I don't
Voted.
think I overrate him. So let me set
I
this.
voted for
Let me set it
Republicans
like
most
this.
of my life.
Yeah, let me set it
Okay.
like this. So Donald Trump did not get my vote in 2016, right? I gave it to Jill Stein. Also in 2020, I voted third party again, right? Because I didn't believe in Donald Trump in 2016. But in 2020, I seen the economy's great. So I'm not overrating him. What I'm doing is I can compare and contrast Joe Biden to Donald Trump, and it's a clear decision. I know, and I bought homes, and I still buy homes now. There's a clear difference in the economy. So I'm glad you don't say he's dead last like everyone says he is. But it's funny because do you believe that Joe Biden has done better than Donald Trump when it comes to the border, when it comes or national security, foreign policies, and when it comes to the economy? Do you think that he's done better than Donald Trump?
And it would have to be broken down into specific areas.
I got you. So what about the
Border,
economy? Let's talk about that because
border,
that's important. Okay,
right?
go ahead.
Economy.
Yeah.
I can't look at Joe Biden's administration as regular because he came into office during the pandemic. All right. So, like, for example, Donald Trump's economy was in the toilet during the pandemic. All right. That is a fact. That's not, I'm not
But
blaming him.
he was
But
saying everybody was
so,
pretty much suffering at that time.
you could say because of the pandemic, the U.S. economy crashed. All right. I remember it well. All right. People were not working.
It didn't crash though. It didn't crash.
Well, it crashed in terms of employment. All right. Most people, on many millions of people were unemployed. I'm not blaming Trump for that. I'm saying that it was a fact that happened.
Okay.
The pandemic happened. All right. And when Biden and Harris came in, they were dealing with an economy that was bad because of the pandemic. Today, the economy is not so bad. Now, I'm not saying everyone
Not so
is
bad.
no. The inflation rate is low.
That's like getting a
Not the
shot. How
lowest.
it's like getting a shot. Is this gonna
Unemployment
hurt?
is
Not so
low.
bad.
Well,
It's
unemployment is low. Inflation is low. All right. Production of oil is higher than when it was under Trump. All right. Fact, not make believe.
Mhm.
All right. And I'm not voting because of the economy. So I already told you that.
What
But
are
I
you
mean,
voting? What are you
for me to
voting
say-
on then, Lou?
I told you.
On
I told you.
personality?
No, not at all about personality. Character. That's what I'm voting.
Personality.
No, that's not personality.
Okay, the way that I sum it up,
Trump, in my opinion, all right, I'm from New York. Trump kind of acts like me a lot. Okay, it's not personality. All right, Trump's a New Yorker. He has that abrasive kind of,
Mhm.
I grew up with people. All right, I grew up with people with abrasive personalities. I don't care about that
Okay,
at
but
all.
the way
Right?
I sum it up is it's either policy or personality. Now I understand you say character, but you say you're about 65, right? You said you're 65 years old.
62.
62. My bad. I didn't mean to put ages on you.
No, no, no.
So
It's
60,
okay, man.
62, 62, right? And my parents are
You're a young man.
yeah. So my parents, they're in their 60s too, right? So like certain things are not really that important to them as it is to me. Like if I talk about school and transgender and that whole agenda, that's important to me. Like it's not important to my parents. So I'm voting based on that. So you're
Yeah.
like the economy probably really isn't that big of a deal for you. Or
For
is it?
me personally, I'm doing great. So
So you're good.
I don't have any problems. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I have enough money to go the rest of my life, never working another day. I don't have an economic problem. Not to say that other people don't. I understand people do.
Okay.
All right.
Now, do you say you stay in New York right now?
No, I live in Florida.
Oh, you're in Florida. Okay. All right.
But
Because I was gonna say, because after that is really the economy. Sorry, after the economy is the migrants. That's the biggest problem. Which you're in Florida, so I'm guessing you
I don't
guys
really
don't really.
see
You
that,
don't have to deal with it.
but I'm not for an open border where people just roam in. So I'm not that person. All right. But I'm also not a person who wants mass deportation of 15, 20 million people who are here. All right. I don't want that either. All right.
Lou,
So
you
that's
don't. It doesn't sound. So it sounds like you're like the economy is okay. I'm not for open borders because you want them to come in legally, like most Americans do.
Yeah.
But this administration clearly was for open border policies. They didn't care. This is why they took so long for them to actually close up the border. So, are you voting on that too? Because this is not.
No, I told you. I was honest with you. I'm not voting on immigration. I'm not voting on the economy. All right. I have no problem with the economy. All right. I don't have financial need. All right.
Yeah.
That Trump is going to bail me and help me. I know he's a con man. I know it. All right. So
Do you believe Kamala Harris is honest?
No, she's a politician. She lies. She distorts truth.
That's
They
part of
all do.
character, though.
No, but I didn't say I thought she had the highest character. All right. I said Trump is, in my opinion, and what I've seen in my life, Trump goes above and beyond the corruption level. It is beyond anything I've ever seen. Okay. Kamala Harris is a politician. She's
Can I say something about corruption? Because it's funny you say that. While he was in office, he lost millions of dollars. But it's funny that Joe Biden, when he was vice president, took millions of dollars from other countries. That's very corrupt.
Well, no, I think that's a matter of what you're reading. All right. Trump's family made millions and millions.
Wait, but we're talking about while he was in power. When you're in power, you can make a lot of decisions, and you had that opportunity. And Joe Biden was taking millions of dollars from what was it, like China, and one of them were Ukraine. Hey, get down.
Vice president?
When he was vice president, that is corruption. Trump could have done that while he was in office. He could have took millions of dollars, and you would have heard it on the national news everywhere. He didn't do that.
Now, he's always taking millions.
But Joe Biden, that's corruption.
No,
did you give Joe Biden? Did you give Joe Biden your vote?
One thing, I'm not for Joe Biden. Okay, so I
Come
don't.
on,
I'm
Lou.
not going to sit there and defend Joe Biden. It's not my guy.
Who did you give your vote to, if you don't mind me asking, in the 2020 election?
2020, I voted for Joe Biden. Not that I was thrilled with Joe Biden. I couldn't stand Joe Biden. What? Right? But I told you the truth. I would literally vote for anybody. All right? Anybody. It does not matter to me. All right? Now, I would prefer to have another candidate. I couldn't stand that Joe Biden was going to be the candidate. I'm glad that Kamala Harris is the candidate over Joe Biden. I'm happy about that. But Donald Trump is someone that is literally a fascist, all right? And I don't want a fascist running this
Do you
United
want
States.
Joe Biden to run this country who has caused nothing but wars? He's given us money. He's throwing money into Ukraine. We
I
have
don't.
problems within our own country. He doesn't show strength. Do you really believe that Joe Biden shows strength at a table full of world leaders?
No,
He's working
I'm
on
not.
behalf. Would you hire Joe Biden to work on behalf of you, to talk on behalf of you?
No, I don't think Joe Biden talks very well.
But you gave him your vote, though.
And I told you why.
But you
It's
wouldn't.
not. My vote is
If you were
anti-Trump.
I got you.
It's an
If you were in
anti-Trump.
a business decision right now, Lou, and let's just say you're running $1 trillion business, and you got to choose someone to speak for you, and people are coming after you all the time, and you need someone strong to be able to protect your investment and your money. And you're like, I don't really like Donald Trump, but he might be an asshole and he might be a jerk, but he might be able to protect me from getting, bombarded and losing my investment. Or I could choose Joe Biden or Kamala Harris because they're nice and they're okay. Would you still consider Donald Trump even though he would save you tons of money and save your investment? Or do you want to go with this person who has dementia, can't talk, and literally will let anybody take your money?
I wouldn't hire Joe Biden to run my business. No,
I would hire Donald Trump to run my business, and I'm gonna tell you why.
I would not.
Because
not
you know what? You know why I would? Because I've done
hire
business
Donald
deals.
Trump if
I've
I
done
wanted a
business deals with
criminal
people.
running my business.
I got you, but I've done business deals with people that I don't personally like or agree with or align with. But when it comes to business, we can work together. And at the end of the day, I'm not here to find out what they do on Saturdays and Sundays. I'm just here for the work. I don't necessarily care for Donald Trump as far as the things that he says, because he doesn't say the right things all the time. But what I care about is what he does when he's in office. I hire him and I'm voting for him based on the work that he's already done. I don't care what he does any other time other than that. He's not having to come to my house. I don't have to have dinner with him. Neither do you. But he needs to run the country. I don't care about his tweets. Some of his tweets are funny. Make America funny again would be great anyway. But it's just a vote. It's a person that you want to run the country.
Yes,
the country, and
I don't want a corrupt fascist running my country.
But you don't like Joe Biden. You voted for him. You wouldn't trust Joe Biden to run the country or talk for you.
Joe Biden is not as corrupt and fascist as Donald Trump is.
Lou, let me talk to you a little bit. Lou, come on, man. You know Joe Biden is corrupt. You know the Hunter Biden laptop is a real thing, right? You know that he was doing stuff when he was vice president, right?
I believe that Joe Biden has done some corrupt things. Yeah. So not as much, not as bad.
As bad?
Yes, not even close. Not even close. All right. Let me explain one thing. All right. Coming from New York.
Lou, come on, man. I got you like right here. If I could get you to like one thing about Trump, we can get you in, man.
I want to tell you something on a personal level.
Okay, I'm listening, man. What's going on?
I come from New York. I'm Italian. All right. I'm familiar with organized crime. Okay. A lot of people in organized crime in my day.
I'm a big mob guy. Okay. Talk to me.
And let me tell you something. They're not all bad to me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They're not. They do some nice things.
Okay.
Okay. And yes, I guess, if I wanted to make a lot of money doing something corrupt, there were times I could have meandered with people I knew. All right. But they are criminals.
Child.
Right?
Okay.
So Donald Trump is a criminal. That's what I know.
Nah.
Well, he just was convicted.
Those talking about the misdemeanors that they want to turn into felonies. I don't think that Donald Trump is a real criminal. I don't think he's a threat to society.
You don't believe he's a real criminal?
No.
Really?
No.
And have you been on the streets?
Yes.
Are you a streetwise person?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you don't believe he's a con man.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that this guy
He's
Mr.
telling
Real
you the
Estate
truth.
Developer Businessman is a criminal. I don't see him out here. I don't see him doing corrupt things like I see a lot of these politicians do.
Okay,
This
can I
man is
ask you
not a
something?
threat to society.
Can I ask you something? When he got convicted in New York, all right, for 34 counts of fraud,
Manufactured
before a
felonies.
jury of his peers, not
Uh-huh.
Democrats, there was a jury, all right, that voted unanimously that he committed 34 crimes. You don't believe that. You think he did not do those crimes.
Do you believe that O.J. Simpson killed Nicole?
I think he probably did, yes.
But a jury said that he did not.
Yes. And guess what?
And he went
decision.
scot free. Everybody believes he did it.
But I accept what the jury determined.
I didn't.
All right.
Well, I did it.
But you had to because you had no choice.
Yeah, but just because you have to do something doesn't make it right, though.
No, but in our
just
system,
because for example, just like Mark Zuckerberg can push the fact that they're hiding Hunter Biden's laptop and all these things about Joe Biden, doesn't make it right just because I'm forced to believe something.
Okay, we have a system. Do we have a justice system in America?
A bad one.
Oh, but we have one, right?
Oh, we've got one. That's a bad one. It's kind of corrupt though, Lou.
So,
and you can agree to that.
It has to do with juries, trials, evidence, right? It has to do with a judgment being made after hearing the different arguments. That's the system. Do juries sometimes get it wrong? Yes. There are people convicted who should not be convicted. All right, it happens. But Donald Trump is a convicted felon. There is no way around that.
So they couldn't have got it wrong for Trump, though, right?
To put that man, a convicted felon who committed fraud and was judged to have committed fraud, and say that's the best Republican we have? Get on, come on.
So the jury, so the jury can't be wrong about Donald Trump. You just said they can be wrong.
They could be. I said they could be. I'm telling you, they could be. All right, but we do go by a system of law in this country.
Got you. Now let's get to
the fact is that the Republican Party decided that the best candidate that they could put up is a convicted felon, convicted of business fraud.
He earned their vote. He earned their vote.
He bullied them into it.
But did Kamala Harris earn her vote?
It's like John Gotti.
Did Kamala Harris
earn the vote of his family?
Lou, did Kamala Harris earn her vote?
No.
He earned the vote of the people.
Right.
We believe in democracy, right? But wait. We believe in democracy, right?
Do you live in New York?
No, I don't live in New York. I would love to go to New York, but no.
Ozone Park, Queens. That's where John Gotti used to hang out.
That's my okay. I know all about John Gotti. As far I told you, I'm a mob historian. So yes.
Do you think John Gotti earned the?
No, John Gotti literally did what Kamala Harris just did. He shot Paul Castellano while he was going to a steakhouse, and then became the boss. No. He did what Kamala Harris just did. He just overthrew Paul Castellano, who was Joe Biden, and now she's the person who's going to then ruin the Democratic Party, like how John Gotti ruined the mob.
John Gotti was popular in New York. I know.
Okay, but the analogy still stays.
Good. That does not mean he was good.
No, I didn't say he was good because he didn't follow the rules of the mob. Actually, he ruined it.
Well, in a way, but the mob itself is illegal.
It's illegal, Lou, but I love the mob. I love them.
And you may love Donald Trump, the corrupt man that he is.
But you don't. But who does this? Okay, but who does this analogy more align with? Does it align? You're aligning the mob with Trump, or are you aligning the mob with the Democratic Party? Because the Democratic machine would be more of the mob in this particular instance.
No. Both Republican, Democrat, these parties are run very similarly.
Mm-hmm.
All right, it's not like Republicans are run like from heaven. This doesn't work that way. They're all run on influence and power and money. All right, and Kamala Harris, when her being Joe Biden stepping aside and having Kamala Harris run is not illegal. It's not illegal. All right, it's not unconstitutional. Somebody
They
told you.
he was
Somebody
he
must
was
have told you that.
told me
All
no
right,
no 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 no. I didn't say.
it's
Did I
not
say it was illegal? Did
unconstitutional.
I say it was illegal, or did I say the analogy of
Is it
John Gotti is similar?
unconstitutional? Is it unconstitutional?
It doesn't say that. But can
It
I
is
ask?
totally constitutional.
Can I ask a moral question? Because no, I didn't say it's unconstitutional. I didn't say anything was wrong. Because no one has said anything about it being unconstitutional or wrong. That's why nobody covers it like that. But
It is what it is.
morally, it was wrong. I mean, a guy who says, if you come to me and you tell me, hey man, I know that you just won 4 years ago. You were our guy. You've done our thing, and you're like, I can do it again, right? And you say, I'm gonna be the guy. I'm gonna do it. I'm not leaving it. I'm like, all right, cool. And you keep telling me that, and I just end up removing you. You're like, well, damn, what happened? Why'd you remove me, right? I'm supposed to be the guy to run again because I won the first time.
He stepped aside.
He didn't step aside. Come on.
Yes, he did.
We were almost on the same page. Almost. All right. But he did not step aside, Lou. He got pushed out.
Do?
He got pushed out.
Political pressure came upon him and he stepped aside. All right. The same way political pressure comes upon Adam Kinzinger or Liz Cheney and they get pushed out.
So he did.
Politics is a dirty game.
Absolutely. So did he step aside or did he get pushed out?
He got pushed out and he stepped aside.
No, he can't do both, Lou.
No.
He got to do what?
He was pressured.
Mm-hmm.
And then he decided not to fight the pressure. He could have fought the pressure, but he decided, no, I'm going to step aside with the pressure I'm receiving. That's what happened. Right?
Okay, so
that is what happened.
Okay, I got you. But we almost there.
Illegal, it's not unconstitutional.
We're almost there. No, we didn't say unconstitutional. He got pushed out. If this would have happened to Donald Trump, right?
I wish it did happen to Donald Trump.
I bet you do. It would make you excited. Because right?
I may be voting Republican. If that happened.
Listen,
with Donald Trump.
Got you. But he didn't. He earned the vote, and he's the guy, right? Yeah. Now, the Democratic Party is all about democracy, and they totally crap on it all the time. But it's funny to me. He got pushed out. Kamala Harris is the new person. She doesn't have the confidence, and she doesn't have like a lot of people that believe in her. She's losing a lot. Give me 1 second, man. Give me 1 second. Let me mute this real quick.
What?
All right. So I got like five minutes and I'm going to get off this thing. You still there, Lou? So far, what I got on Lou till he comes back. He doesn't like Donald Trump's character, but he definitely is not for the border. He's not for open border policy. He believes the economy. He doesn't really. He doesn't think it's. He think it's getting better. All right, so I got five more minutes, Lou. So look, it doesn't sound like you're very excited about the Democratic Party.
I'm not a Democrat.
I'm saying voting Democrat.
I'm going to vote for Kamala Harris. I'm not excited about the Democratic Party. I'm an independent. Most of my votes through the years have been more Republican than Democrat. Right? But no, so I'm not excited about Republicans or Democrats, but most of the time I voted Republican.
Okay. This is sad, man. Because, and the reason why I say this is sad is because Kamala Harris is worse than Joe Biden. And you know this. You know she's bad. Right? From the conversation we just had, you're not excited about her. You even say, she's a liar. You're not really rocking with her like that. But you just hate Donald Trump that much that you're going to give the vote to her and she can further ruin the country.
I don't think she could ruin the country like Donald Trump can ruin the country.
He didn't ruin the country, though. There were no wars. The economy was booming. Also, we didn't have a problem with migrants. So he didn't do a bad job.
You know what really scares me?
What's that?
Honestly. All right. I know what Donald Trump is about. He's about power and control. All right. And the fact is that the Supreme Court made a ruling that he is immune, not him, Biden too. All right. That a president is immune from being charged criminally for anything they can conjure up as official actions. Okay.
I got that.
So given that, and I'm against that, whether it be Biden, whether it be anything.
I got you. Let me also
Trump, that type of power and his type of mentality, okay, is to me the single biggest threat ever in the history of our country. That's
and I got it.
Worst threat in the history of our country. So whether Harris does everything great, that's a side point to me. Okay, the last person I was excited to vote for was Ronald Reagan. Okay, so I wasn't excited to vote for George Bush, and I did. I wasn't excited to vote for, Biden in 2020. I'm not super excited to vote for Kamala Harris, but darn well I am. Darn well I am. All right, it's not exciting.
You really don't want to give your vote. You really don't want to give your vote to them, but you just don't like them that much that you. Okay, all right. So you said something. I hope I can bring it back because you said something. It was about crap. I lost my train of thought, but it was along the lines of Donald Trump. But the economy. All right. So look, 2016. He didn't do those things because you're thinking he's gonna be on this revenge tour, right? But it's quite funny that he didn't do these things while he was in office.
Saying it over and over and over. I watch him.
Yeah, but he didn't do that. He didn't do that. And you know what's funny? Do you believe? Okay, it's funny because do you believe in Project 2025?
I believe it's a thing. Yeah.
Do you believe it's Donald Trump's agenda?
I don't think it's an agenda that was made for his presidency.
Do you think that's what he's going to follow?
A lot of it, yeah.
No, he's not. But the reason why I say that is because
the Heritage Foundation is a conservative think
group. Yeah, I just wanted to ask that question because when he ran those things that he's talking about in Project 2025, he didn't do. Also, this thing that you're saying that he's gonna have all this power, he's gonna do this and do that. He didn't do that while he was in power.
No, he tried to do many, many things.
He didn't do it though. He was the president of the United States. He could do anything at that particular moment.
He was stopped by a balance of power. That's how he was stopped.
He didn't do it. He didn't do it.
Well, I watch him. He said just the other day. I watch him all the time. He said he wants the U.S. military to be involved if people disagree with his bullshit. All right, that the U.S. military can be involved. All right, U.S. military should never be used against U.S. citizens ever. All right.
In what context, though? Because I think I
That is
heard a little bit
literally
about this.
fascism.
I heard a
That
little bit
is
about this.
Hitler fascism.
Yeah,
And
but
he
was this
said it
about
the
the
other day
election day thing?
on people who are protesting, disagreeing with his policies and his agenda. He wants to, by force,
You know the
make sure.
Democrats did. You know the Democrats were doing after when Hillary lost, they were tearing up cities. You know they were
I
doing
was
that during that,
live when
right?
Hillary lost, and Hillary conceded the election.
No, I'm saying that this whole entire thing about what people are going to disagree with and not do, like they were still tearing up cities even when Hillary Clinton didn't win.
People do a
And
lot of
so,
bad things.
and so
Right?
also,
Under Donald Trump, the streets were filled with riots. All right. My son got hit by what do they call that? The spray
like
that the police fire on.
yeah,
My son got hit with that stuff. All right. There was riots on the streets all over the country under Donald Trump.
So is that Donald Trump's fault?
No, I didn't say that. I said it happened. So,
Yeah,
so
but
there can be violence on the streets. It happened.
Yes, but it's not his fault.
I
So
didn't- I didn't blame
if he calls for National Guard or Army to stop it, he doesn't
Okay,
get
but
credit for it.
what if my son was there and he called the Marines in to throw grenades all over the place?
To
What
stop,
if that happened?
to
Then
stop,
my son would be dead, wouldn't he?
but I'm saying to stop people from protesting that turns violent.
My
You need
son
some-
was at protests. Okay, this is really true. It's personal, right? I wasn't there. He was. He was at protests where he got hit by those fake bullets that they shoot.
Which protest are you referring to? Which one are you talking about?
He was at one in where was he living at the time? Because he's lived in different places, but it was it must have been Florida, I guess. I don't. It was no Colorado. I think it was Colorado. But anyway, there was protests with the George Floyd thing.
Okay.
All right. My son is not a criminal. My son never did any crime. He was peacefully protesting with lots of other people. All right. There were people who acted crazy. There were people who broke into buildings.
I got you.
Right? Well, my son got hit with police bullshit with their
It's like the pellet gun or the yeah. I know something. Yeah.
Pepper spray.
Yeah.
All right. Now, the way Donald Trump was just talking the other day was what he will do is use the U.S. military. Okay, that's grenades
For people who disagree with him.
What is it? What is it? What did my son get hit for?
You said he was at a You said he was at a protest.
Yes.
So did it get violent?
No, he wasn't violent. It was no.
No, I'm saying did the protest go from peaceful to violent or something? I don't know about the protest. So.
Okay, I can only tell you what he told me. There was protests, and I remember when they were going on in America. I was watching on TV a lot of them. All right, that some of the people at the protest turned violent. That did happen. All right, and the police, some of them were being not very nice to some innocent people.
All right, I got you. And like I said, this is a conversation I don't really know much about. And then also, these are people, these are protests, but this does not. You can't Kamala Harris me there, Lou. We got to bring it back. I got to be like Bret Baier. We have to talk about the election. All right, and to be honest. I didn't give Trump my vote in 2016. So you're not talking to like a MAGA supporter, right? I'm an independent as well. My vote can sway either way as long as policies make sense. And the older I get, I have to understand the policies. Kamala Harris is very bad. And if she's elected, how can you not think that she would continue what Biden does, if not worse? She chose She chose tampon Timmy Walls as her first decision as a vice president. And he's bad and he supports the migrants. You're not for open borders. He wanted the driver's license. He wants to give him health care, all these things. And she chose him. She's going to further execute this plan of letting in migrants. She doesn't care about the economy like that.
That's not her policy today. All right.
Come on.
She was saying that about
what is her policy? What is her policy on the border? What is her policy on the border?
Her policy on the border is exactly the bill that was shot down by Trump. All right, who he pressured. He used pressure on Republicans to vote against a bill that was going to place 1,500 new agents on the border. And was pretty conservative. All right.
Donald Trump is not the president.
No, but he still runs the party. He's still Gotti. He's still the man.
Lou, he wasn't president.
No.
Why did it take 3.5? Okay, wait. We're gonna say something a little bit better. Trump had all of those things in place with executive order. Why did they remove them? Do you think that was a smart move to remove all those things according to the border that Trump had in place?
I would have to look at specifics. I think that what happened, in my personal view, is that it was swinging into a radical, crazy nonsense with Trump wanting to shoot people's legs and all this nonsense. And then it
Obama was. It's funny because Obama was worse.
No, then it swung the other way, and they probably loosened it up too much. All right, and now they're swinging back towards tightening it up. That's what's going on.
Because they messed up.
Okay,
because see, you can hate. Okay, you can hate someone so bad, right? But if he had the right things in place, why remove him? You know, like it's almost like a policy, like, you know, a job that you work for. Like, okay, you may not. You could
only give you one thought. Okay,
what's that?
And then I'll leave you. All right. But you've studied history, I suppose, maybe.
Enough.
Okay. In Germany, Hitler was elected, right? You understand that? No, don't be all discouraged.
I'm listening, Lou.
You recognize he was elected, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what happened. Mm-hmm. All right. You recognize that his policies were very good for the German economy. Do you recognize that?
Oh no, don't go here, Lou. Don't do it. Don't do it to me. Okay, go ahead. Keep going. Right. Don't do this to me, Lou.
So you can have good economic policies, and you could also be a corrupt fascist criminal. All right. That is what I believe Donald Trump is. His policies, whether good or bad economically, is irrelevant to me.
Is he killing? Is he killing millions of people?
I think he may. Yeah, I think he may.
He's intentionally killing Americans or people,
Not
special
right
groups?
Now. I said I think he may.
How?
Not Americans. First off, listen, I'm not saying he's killing white Americans. I'm saying what I think he would do. I think he's definitely would do is clamp down, which is what it was in Germany. They called it the clamp down. I think he might clamp down
on the migrants.
Yes. I think that is very possible.
And you know what, Lou? I think he should clamp down on migrants.
Well, then they'll be.
I think, and the reason why, as an American, if I was living in Chicago or New York, I would be so upset if I know that they're taking public services from me. If they're going to my schools, if they're getting paid credit Visa gift cards, and then they take $1 billion from FEMA and they transfer it to the shelter and services program for migrant living
Never,
and
you
healthcare,
heard
I would
something.
be
You
so
heard
upset. And they got to
somebody
go.
lied to you.
What's
Somebody
that?
lied. Somebody
How?
lied to you.
About what?
That's not how FEMA works. All
So,
right.
oh yes,
They have
come on, Lou. Oh
listen,
man, yes.
they
Listen,
have specific funds put aside for specific things.
I'm ready like
All
Bret
right.
Baier. Yes.
So
So he
the
so did.
money
Okay, go ahead.
the money for hurricanes does not come from other funds. Those funds are approved by Congress. All
Mm-hmm.
right. There's a $750 maximum payment that was approved by Congress, not President Biden, not Trump, not anyone else. That $750, which was spoken about on TV, was just for emergency relief, and it does not come from any other funds elsewhere. All right. So somebody told you that they were taking money for hurricanes and giving it to migrants. That was somebody lied.
So this is what happened, Lou.
Somebody
I got the
lied.
art. I got the article right here. If we got to go through it. So
Go
this
ahead.
is
What?
this is what happened, Lou. So it's a matter of it's called
Who's
the
the
shelter.
article by?
We got PolitiFact. So there's PolitiFact. I got it right here. But so this is what happened. This is what happened. Joe Biden, he transferred $1 billion from FEMA. He did this. He actually this was approved, and he transferred it over to the Shelter and Services Program. It was like the ESPP, and so he took that
When
money
was
and
that?
put it to the Shelter and Services Program, which the
Yeah,
Shelter and we can get it right here. Because this was, I think, back in 2021, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. So you understand that it's nothing to do with the hurricanes today, right?
No. I didn't. I didn't say it was the hurricanes. But what I am saying is that policies matter, and the way that they use the funds are important. So it was in 2021, and what he did was he transferred that to the ESPP program. Now, the difference between what Joe Biden did and Trump did, because I looked this up and I said, did Trump do the same thing? Because I like to research and I like to call wrong wrong. Trump did the same thing. 200, I think it was about 100, let's say 100 to 200 million dollars, right? I think it was like 157. Right. The difference is Trump used it for detention centers to keep migrants that did come into the detention centers until they got their asylum hearing and all that, so that they could not roam across the United States. Joe Biden took that, so he took the money and invested it into stocks, so it still helps him personally, like it's like that analogy, instead of taking it and then just blowing it on a bunch of things that doesn't benefit you. Biden took the $1 billion and then gave it to them for housing, for health care, and that's where the prepaid cards came from. So he basically blew the money away because we're never getting that money back. Trump went and got the detention centers and things like that. I think it came with them probably, or let's just say detention centers for what I know. He basically put it to where it would stop the flood of migrants.
Right.
Biden gave it to the migrants. But now we're in FEMA, and now they're saying that they don't have enough funds. Do you believe that $1 billion would be helpful right now for FEMA in some sort?
Yeah, but that's no. I get your point. I'm not disregarding it, but the point is that I'm making back to you is that has nothing to do with the current status of hurricane relief.
$1 billion could do a lot.
No. That you say Trump was using it for detention, right?
He was using it to keep migrants from coming.
Yes.
So they both used the money from FEMA. But one person used it in a form where it was going to help us still. The other person used it. Migrants don't help us.
They used the funds differently. I agree with you. All right. But the money that Trump was using for detention, that was also not used for hurricane relief, right? Right?
It wasn't used for hurricanes, and that's why I said I did my research to do that.
So
but
let's put the nonsense about hurricanes aside, because that
but
has nothing to do with
the way that you use the money, and this is why I say policies matter, is that 200, or let's say 100 to 200 million is a big difference from a billion. And if we're using it to stop migrants, that's going to cost us billions of dollars. Like in New York, they're at almost 5 billion. Then I'm okay with that. But when we're taking $1 billion, which we're going to end up spending $150 billion on the migrants, I got a problem with that.
Well,
Just like if we took 200 million and we gave them to veterans, I wouldn't be mad at that. But if we're going to take 200 million and then give it to someone else who's not going to necessarily help us, I'm a little bit mad.
So this gets into conservative, liberal. Do you like migrants? Do you hate migrants? All right. Okay, you would have spent the money differently.
Yeah. No, but my point in saying that was my real point in saying that was yes to FEMA, what we were talking about, but the policies matter because they are going to choose what they're going to do with that money. And now we have a disaster. And so whenever you have an issue with money, one of the first things, me and you are men, right? And you said you got a son. So whenever we're having like money issues or like we got a question about money, we want to know where the money went. So if we go broke right now, we're going to pull out bank statements. We're going to figure out what we do. We got to now audit ourselves and figure out, okay, what's going on with the money? So now when FEMA comes out and says, hey, we don't have any money for hurricane season. Wait, no one was thinking about FEMA from the beginning, but now that we're thinking about it, where did this money go? And then now you start saying $1 billion here. Well, a real problem, it starts off small, but it really is a big problem because it's habits. And so what else have they been doing with other forms of money, whether it's in FEMA or whatever else?
You feel it's a big problem.
With what?
I don't really feel it's a big problem.
What's not a big problem?
That's the difference with you and me. You think it's a big problem that migrants got some money. It's not a big problem.
Absolutely, I think it's a problem, Lou. I think it's a big problem.
Honestly, for you, that's for me.
It's a huge problem that we've spent $150 billion on migrants. 150.
It doesn't affect me.
It does. Okay, no, if you were, and what part of Florida are you in?
South Florida.
Oh, so like
South Florida.
Miami, Fort Lauderdale, or some.
Before that, I'm in Port St. Lucie.
Okay, so you weren't affected by the Milton or?
Just got grazed by it. Oh, wow. I wasn't destroyed by it or anything.
I'm glad you were able to get out of that. So what I was going to say was like, so if you were affected by it, right, because there was a caller that called up to the Breakfast Club. We're going to go up and get pizza. And he was in Hurricane Milton, and he was basically complaining about the same thing, like, hey, they're giving money over to, Ukraine and the migrants and all these things, while he was, like, I guess, in Hurricane Milton, I'm guessing, or maybe he was affected by it for sure. So that matters, though. At that particular time, throwing money away to migrants when you could have that to use for domestic, in the United States, that's a big problem. Because to him, he's probably like, what? He's like, what the heck? Why don't you guys have enough money?
If you are being shortchanged because of that, then yeah, I guess it affects you. I get it. But all right, I've been through many hurricanes. Okay, I've had damage to my homes with hurricanes. The government never gave me money. All right? So I mean, that whole concept is foreign to me. All right.
Okay.
I've had hurricanes. Have you ever been in a hurricane?
I have not. I'm in Michigan, so okay.
I've been in hurricanes, and the government, all my years, I've been through probably 7 or 8 hurricanes. The government never came to me with money. Okay, so that whole thing, like when I hear someone got $750 for emergency funds, I'm like, well, that's pretty good because I never got anything.
I got you, but does it bother you that they're getting $750, and in that same week, Kamala Harris makes a tweet that says we sent $150 million to Lebanon? Does that bother you at all?
I'm not, and I admit this, I'm not that into foreign policy. I don't really know. I mean, I believe Ukraine should be supported.
Well, just the use of money, right?
I don't know what's a lot or a little when it comes to military budgets. I think the military budgets are enormous, enormous. So I don't know what's a lot or a little. All right, you know, when
I
they
think
say,
I
you know,
think I think
so much
that
money over to Ukraine, I don't know if it's a lot or a little. I
okay.
don't know.
Got you. And we're gonna end it on this. And I appreciate you coming up here. So I think that it's so wrong that we got all this money as a government. And this is why I don't put trust in government, but I gotta get my vote out because I gotta be responsible. But I think it's very irresponsible for the government to literally within that same 5 to 6 day period say I got $150 million for Lebanon, right? Even though it's a different budget, but we got $750 for people that were impacted by Hurricane Helene, and then say, "Hey, Mayorkas, we may not have any money towards the end of hurricane season, so we got money to send to other people. Why would I take care of my neighbor when I am struggling right now with my own family?" And
Well,
it's a slap in the face to the American people because you
well,
gotta remember they can figure out a way. They can figure out ways to use this money, and if they got to move money around, that's what they do. And the part that bothers me about the Democratic Party, at least this Democratic Party, or I should say these Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, they don't know how to manage money, which bothers me, and they're mismanaging the funds that they have, and they're sending it over to migrants, and they're sending it over for the wars, and they're telling the American people basically "F you guys." That's how I
well, I
feel.
mean, well, I don't know. I mean, I'm honest. I don't know all about the budgets of the United States and where money is going and not going. I use my common understanding.
Yeah,
I've never gotten money for a hurricane ever. All right.
I got you.
I've never heard of anyone getting $750. So when
I,
I
I
heard
just
people were getting $750, I was like, well, that's pretty good.
I got you. Yeah, because you said you've been in it, and but from outside looking in, someone who's lost everything, that's not a lot.
No, but
What I what I
but you know that $750 was only for quick emergency.
quick
That is
emergencies.
not
It's not. It's
funds
not.
they
It's
are
not the
getting.
funds. Yeah, yeah. Like the city's going to get funds to rebuild and redevelop, and that was
Yes,
just to get them on their feet.
and Kamala Harris and Joe Biden went on TV the day after and said
Yep.
every little bit of money used to rebuild will be refunded by the U.S. government. I guess you missed that part.
No, no, no. I seen that part because that's when Joe Biden took a crap on Kamala Harris. No, I seen that
Okay,
part.
but that
That's when he
that
wanted to let everyone know that
that's
I'm the one really behind this, and she's playing politics. Absolutely, I
okay,
seen that.
but
No,
he said that all of the funds used, like let's say the state of Florida, by
mhm,
Ron DeSantis,
mhm.
Mr. Conservative, okay,
Yeah,
that all of the money that he uses will be repaid by the federal government.
but they're
All right.
also saying that they're out of money.
Well, they're
So
always
this
out of money.
this is
They're
this
in
is
a
this
deficit. The
absolutely. But
deficit is
this is where me as a business person, I care about where my tax dollars go. And so I gotta ask certain questions when it comes to money because just like we just went through that whole example of auditing and stuff, I have to find out how are you using my tax money. I'm a part of that some way, somehow. And if I have a problem with something, I'm going to say it. I don't like how this administration is using the money. When Trump
okay,
was
and
in
that
office, I don't really have that many problems with how he used the money. They say
okay,
the
but that
tariffs X, Y, and Z, but he brought money in. Inflation was low. I'm in a house right now, complete benefit of Donald Trump, where I have a 2.75% interest rate. I have another rental property under Joe Biden that is 5.5. So like I know the direct benefit. And so when Trump was here, the economy was cool. And again, I didn't give him my vote. But when I look at it from hindsight, he did a good job. And so now we're not in such a good job. We have a mess going on in so many areas. I'm not going to hire the person who broke a bad contractor to then fix my other house. I can't do that, Rube.
even if let me ask you this because this is the only question that I could ask you. I don't have a problem with where you're thinking.
Hmm.
I mean, that's okay. You're thinking in terms of your situation, your businesses. I don't have a
I got
problem.
I'm a young person. I got a family. Money's
Yeah,
important. Economy's
and
important to
it
me.
should be.
So is
It
migrants.
should be. But is it more important than having a fascist, corrupt criminal running it. If John Gotti came to you and said, I'm going to give you that special interest rate, all right, but if you don't pay, I'll break your legs. All right. You see what I'm saying? And he says, you know what, the 2% you're paying, I'm going to give you 1%. And it's all corrupt and it's all illegal. Would you take it?
I like John Gotti. John Gotti's gonna step. He's gonna stand up for me. He's gonna make sure that nobody takes advantage of me.
You would go, oh, that's acceptable to me.
Well, I don't consider. First of all, I don't consider Donald Trump a fascist. I don't consider him a fascist at all. Besides the character points, right? Besides the character points, I would 100% want Donald Trump to speak for me rather than Joe Biden, which we both have agreed Joe Biden is not a great candidate. And we know for sure Kamala Harris is damn near incompetent politically. She's bad. I would not trust those two with my life. If it was a business decision or something else, I want a dog like Trump. I don't want a pit bull.
Okay, well, I don't want a corrupt dog. All right, I don't.
But you got a corrupt president. We already know that Joe Biden has done these corrupt things as vice president.
All right,
and his son is as corrupt as they get. He's about to go to jail for 20-something years. They don't talk about
my girlfriend is Spanish. Okay, my girlfriend is Spanish. All right. I don't know if Trump will want to kill her or throw her out of the United States. Okay?
Is she here illegally?
And I'm sorry if that is something I should be concerned about. But when I hear that man say he's deporting 20 million people and he's going to use the military if he has to, and all this nonsense, all right, I don't need that in my life.
Is she here illegally?
She's legal.
So then what you worried about, Lou? Your girlfriend ain't going nowhere.
He's coming against the legal Haitians in Ohio.
Okay, but you just said that your girlfriend's legal. How long has she been legal?
Legally in Ohio.
Yeah, but I'm saying your girlfriend's here legal. How long has she been a legal citizen?
Legally.
Yeah, legally. Meaning, so did she come here illegally?
No, she came and got legal, but when you come, you're not
How
legal.
long ago did she come here?
Long time ago.
What you worried about, Lou? This is not a concern for your girlfriend.
I just told you. Trump is going after legal immigrants in Ohio. Legal.
He's not going to go after your girlfriend, Lou. You ain't got nothing to worry about. She'll be right by your side, Lou.
It's not the only one I'm thinking about. I'm thinking of the Haitians.
I'm about to say you got more girlfriends, man.
All right. There's the Haitians in Ohio that are here legally.
But the Haitian migrants, they did come here illegally first. They were undocumented first. They were undocumented.
That's where you got misinformation.
They were here undocumented. This is about the Haitian disaster that they were going through, right?
In Springfield.
In Springfield. They came here because of the Haitian disaster program.
And they were given legal status
by Kamala Harris.
It doesn't matter. They're
temporary legal status.
Yes, they are legally here.
Got you. Right? But you also said that you said the migrant issue doesn't matter to you. You don't have to go through that.
No, the migrant issue matters to me in terms of human decency. That's it. I don't care.
You said you didn't care about the migrant issue, right?
Listen to me. I understand it. I care about it from a perspective of human decency.
I got you.
That's it. I do not care about it that there's 20 million people here. I don't care. All right. I don't care.
I do. That we gotta care about that.
Listen, I smoke pot every day. I've smoked pot for many years.
That ain't no wrong with no weed.
I was doing something illegally, okay? Illegally.
And
no, I don't think that I needed a clamp down to come over to my house and break me apart or throw me in prison, all right? Because I wasn't harming anybody. All right?
Okay, but
and if there's an illegal immigrant here and he's working in my yard and he's earning a living, working his ass off, I don't care.
I got you.
I
Last question, and I do actually appreciate this, Lucy. This is what I like: a actual discussion where people can have back and forth. It doesn't get nasty. I can appreciate these conversations. Do you believe that there's a right and a wrong way to come inside the United States?
Yes, there's a legal way and an illegal way.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So we both agree on that. That's a hard yes for both of us that there is a right way to come through this United States, the legal way, vetted way to come through here.
Yeah.
Got you. Now, we have understood that part. Do you support illegal crossings of the border?
No, but I think they happen.
I got you. But this is just a hard yes or no. You do not believe in illegal crossings of the border.
No, I don't support them.
You don't
but
support it.
Really, but this is the difference between a guy like you and me. It doesn't really bother me. That's the difference.
I get that it doesn't bother you. I get it. I get it.
It doesn't bother me that Antonio brought his pot from Ohio.
I got you, but the question was just the question was do you support it? And you said I support the legal way of coming here, and I do not support illegal immigration.
Yes.
So with that being said, and I get that there's a but that means what is happening now you're not happy with. Because we have 15 to 20 million people that came here illegally.
No, I want that. If I had my way, it would be fixed. The way it would be fixed in my way would be that the borders would be tightened up, not become Fort Knox, not become, airplanes, flying nuclear weapons all over.
I got you.
But yes, tightened up, and there would be an easy, simple pathway to citizenship. And
which would be the legal way, which is because illegal immigrants, what happens is that takes away from the people that would come here legally, and the people that are actually in the United States, those people are taking from us. When they talk about public services, when they're saying like food stamps and stuff, those are being taken away from us.
But honestly, it's not an either or. The American citizens take from us every day. All right,
we're Americans. We work, play.
There's American citizens on all kinds of food assistance.
We work, live, and play here in the United States, so we should be able to benefit from the system.
I'm saying you can't say that it is only illegal immigrants who do that.
$150 billion has been given to them. That should not be there.
Illegal immigrants are both. They're like you and me. All right. Some are good. Some are bad. All right. Some contribute to society. Some make a meaningful difference in our country. Some do not. All right. It is no different. All right. People are people. All right. That's the fact. So crime rate amongst illegal immigrants per capita is lower than American citizens.
I can't even get into that one. I wish I could get into that conversation.
We're not calling for American citizens to be killed. All right, because they committed a crime.
We're just asking them to come in the right way, Lou. And we both agree that there's a right way to come here. And we just want them to come in the legal way. That's all we're asking for. That's all we're asking for.
But if they don't, okay, and they're here, let's say, for 15 years, and they're working hard and contributing to society, I think they should have a way to become a citizen. Easily. I don't think they need to have their family separated, them thrown back to their country.
All right. So if I told you, Lou, that we need to make a business decision as far as our budget, and this $100 a month that you keep spending, you could save, but you got to get rid of the migrants, or you can continue with the migrants and then have a deficit and be broke. Are you going to finally get rid of the migrants?
I'm saying on a personal level, I would give the $100 to the migrants.
No, I'm saying like your personal bank account. Like if I'm
Yeah, I
saying
would
that, hey,
give the 100.
I'm looking at your bank account,
Yeah.
and you can save yourself $1,200 a year, which would help you and your family.
Yes.
Or you can
Yes.
continue to keep paying for like this migrant problem, which doesn't help
Yes.
you. Are you going to get rid of that $100 a month?
If I felt the money was going to help people in need that were illegal migrants, I would not care. I'd be happy to do that.
You let your family suffer?
No, I didn't say that. My family isn't suffering.
No, I'm saying the analogy was if it was your money, would you?
If my family was suffering, I wouldn't take that money and give it to the migrant.
Okay.
I said that. But if I'm doing well, which I am,
Well, we know you're doing well. It was just an analogy. It's just an analogy.
I know, and I'm telling you, it wouldn't bother me that $1,200 went to the migrant.
All right, Lou. I gotta go, man. I hope you join the show after this. Your name was what was it again? It was Was it Brooklyn? Oh, because you're from New York. Brooklyn Lou.
Listen,
Brooklyn Lou.
Listen, I appreciate your spirit. And I to me, this is how I am. I don't care all that much about politics. To me, people are more important than politics. Okay.
Yeah.
So you can have your opinion. This is America. All right.
Absolutely. That's the best part about it.
Problem with people voting for who they want to vote for. But when you asked me to come on because I'm voting for someone you're not voting for.
I did. And the reason why I did that, reason why I did that last point is because I really want to have these type of conversations on my show. And it's not necessarily to be, to dog on people, but it's just the confrontation is probably more entertaining most of the time. And I like to see how people think. Like, I really like to understand it. And that's why I say I'd rather do it the respectful way where we can just go back and forth and have just a disagreement, right? A respectful disagreement. I'm good with that. But when I've asked people to come up, right, they come on to this chat and they come on hard and they just start saying all type of crap. And I said, well, come up here and articulate your point. They don't do that. So when you said I'm getting my laptop, I said, we'll see if he comes up. And I'm glad you did, Lou. I'm really glad you did because this was always supposed to be a 30-minute show.
Listen, I am just a straight up guy.
You're from Brooklyn, bro. You're not scared of nothing.
No. You ever hear I'm from Brownsville, never ran, never will?
Yeah. Okay. Yes, I have.
I'm an old man and I'm not running away. Okay? Now,
and I can respect that.
And you're a young man and you're in shape and God bless you, all right? but I'm saying I am not a coward, all right?
Absolutely, I don't see that.
And I respect people who disagree with me. I respect people.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
it should be that way.
And I respect people of all types, all races, all religions. It doesn't matter to me. Yeah. All right? It really doesn't. And a conservative person doesn't bother me. Mm-hmm. All right. Voting for Trump is your prerogative. It's your what you want to do. All right. But there are people, many millions, probably half and half split in this country, who are not voting for Trump. And they're not all stupid. Okay.
No.
Right? And some may be stupid, some may not be stupid. All right. But
that's on both sides.
I'm not voting for Kamala Harris because I love her and I'm enamored with her.
I don't think many people do, man.
I told you the reason. I know that Trump is corrupt from the 1980s. Okay. So I mean, for me, it's not much of a decision. It's not much there.
Well, I respect your opinion. I can respect it. Definitely, when you come up here and you're respectful, I can respect it. And I like it. And please, don't be afraid. Don't let the chat, well, you from Brooklyn or you from New York, so you don't care. Don't let the chat scare you away. Show Lou some love the next time you see Brooklyn Lou in here, all right? And if we have another call-in show, which I hope we do, don't be afraid to come up, man. And
I already subscribed, so I'll get your stuff coming up.
Yeah. If I need some opposing positions, I know to look for you, Lou. All right.
I can give you a different point of view.
I appreciate it, man. Well, you have a good night. Appreciate it, man. You be safe.
Thank you. Bye.
Yep. There we go, y'all. So we got our. I've had a couple calls on this show, but I would say that's probably the best one. I'd say that's probably the best one so far. Um, it was really good. I enjoy it, man. I just enjoy the back and forth. Now, Tommy, I've been seeing you in the comments, and I gotta go. Right? I got these kids. They telling me they gotta eat and all this stuff. But Tommy, if I make a call-in show, you go call in, bro? First of all, I need you to subscribe. Because it look like some of my subscribers been going kind of hard on you. And you look like a black man. So I would love to have this conversation with you, Tommy. So before I get off here, I want to set up a time for Tommy. All right, I got to set up some time for Tommy. I need some smoke from Tommy. Tommy says, and I'm just going to read your comment to see where you at. Or this, when Biden took office, about 5,000 people were dying a day from COVID. He put us more in the hole because he had to clean up Trump's mess. All right. Tommy Fitz. I'd rather talk to a wall. Tommy Fitz. I might make a show tomorrow. Hey, what y'all doing? Okay. Ow. Come on, man. Tommy Fitz.
Are you talking to yourself?
No, I'm talking to this right here. All right, we about to get off. Y'all getting anxious, right? Can I want to set up a time to have some smoke, man. Tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Thursday. Can we set up a show tomorrow? Do you think the last election was stolen? Tommy, I want to set up a time for you to come on here. You see, Brooklyn Lou ain't for no games. Brooklyn Lou showed up and showed out. You understand me? I can respect the man who says, hey, man, I'll stand on all 10 toes on what I believe in. But me and Lou actually agree on quite a few things. I got to get him over that Trump hate. He really want to vote for Trump. He really want to check that box on Trump. It's just, because as we went from policy to policy, he was like, I don't support the migrants. I'm not for that. I'm not for that. But he just can't get over the fact that Trump is, his name is on there. But y'all, what? Yes. All right, cool. All right, look, Tommy Fitz, right? I have to set up some smoke with you. I want you to send me an Instagram message, right? My Instagram is below. It's Real Estate J Jones. Same name as this, Real Estate JAYJONEZ, 1Z. Send me a message on Instagram. Because the only other way would be you have to literally wait for me to create a show, which I'm going to create a show. And it might be tomorrow between 8 or 9. But I do not want to lose you, Tommy. I got to see what you got to say. I'm white, though. Just it don't catch you off guard. That's Randy Moss. Oh, that's Randy Moss. Oh, whatever. I don't care what you are. But can you send me a message on IG, right? Here's my thing, right? It's Real Estate. Actually, I got it already ready right here. REJ. Here you go. Man, what I want to talk about is what you've been talking about in the chat, man. I think it's a great time instead of just, atting Ortis and atting Michelle. You can just come up here and get your thought across about why you are voting for Kamala Harris, right? It's kind of the same conversation me and Lou just had. And let's have a discussion. Let's see where your head is at, man. All right, there's my Instagram right there. I want to set up a show with you, bro. I want to set up a show with you. I don't know what I'm going to call it, but right now it's called the Call-In Show. But I want you to send me a message on IG. Because if I pull up here tomorrow, right? If I pull up here tomorrow and you not on here, whether at 8 or 9 Eastern Standard Time, I'm calling you out, Tommy Fitz. Boy, I'm gonna call you out, boy. So I'm making sure you ready and prepared. I'm waiting for you. You said you got me? Let me see. Let me see. I gotta go get these kids something to eat. And then my wife, I don't want her on my head either. Let me see. I'm waiting for you, man. I'm waiting for you. Let me see what you got in here. Let me see. I don't see none in the request yet. I don't see none in the request. Is it? Well, what name is it gonna be under? Is it gonna be under Tommy Fitz as well if you send me a request? Because I want everybody to see this. Because I articulated my points pretty well with Lou, right? Hey, Eric, you want to come on the show tomorrow? Eric, you want to come on the show tomorrow? You can call in. You don't have to come on camera like Lou did. If you want to just do audio only, we can do that. I need you to send me a message on Instagram. I want you to come up here tomorrow, either 8 or 9 Eastern Standard Time. I might try to get it here early, around like 8 or something. I want you to tell me why you hate Trump, I want you to tell me why you vote for Kamala Harris. Because Lou really don't want to vote for Kamala Harris. He already said that she's dumb, she's a liar, but he just can't get over that Trump. He can't get over that Trump, so he really want to vote for Trump. Eric Rosas, Eric. Supposedly I got Tommy Fitz. That's gonna hit me up. And let me take a picture of this. Because Tommy, I'm gonna put you on my community page. I'm making sure everybody know that Tommy's supposed to pull up tomorrow. Let me move this out the way. They're gonna be looking for you, Tommy. Eric. Come on, Eric. Are you gonna send me a message so we can set something up tomorrow, or are you gonna run away? He gonna run away. Well, my little 3-year-old said you gonna run away. Maybe that's the answer. All right. All right. Stay back. All right. Listen, Eric. Go on Instagram. Back up. Go on Instagram. That's my Instagram name right there. Real Estate J Jones. Send me a message. I'm gonna be waiting for you. If it come up in the request, I'm gonna answer it. All right. I want some smoke. I want to really see why y'all voting for Kamala Harris. Y'all gotta really tell me why. Stop. Y'all gotta really tell me why. I gotta see where y'all head at. Head at. Maybe I need somebody else from New York. Somebody else from New York that really don't care, that's used to talking, that can come up here and really tell me about why they voting for her. Seems like everybody else ain't. I'm gonna get off this thing, y'all. This show turned into something different. We actually end up hitting like 100. We actually literally hit over 100 people in this live stream.
Audio Jungle.
And I'm gonna get up off this thing, all right? And like I say, after every video, this is chess, not checkers. I'm gonna see y'all at work 2 times. See ya. No problem. Thank you.
I'm about to get comfortable, brother. I'm about to get. I'm about to get comfortable. We don't consistently do what we do. Talking is talk, walking is walk. I'm about to get comfortable. I'm about to get comfortable. Oh, they don't like that. Oh, because I'm here and ain't going nowhere. I'm about to get comfortable. I'm about to get comfortable. We don't consistently do what we do. Talking is talk, walking is walk. I'm about to get comfortable. I'm about to get comfortable. Oh, they don't like that. Oh, because I'm here and ain't going nowhere.
The question for me is, can I play without cheating this game? The day I can't give the game everything on the floor is the day I'll be done. Lucky for you guys, that day is not today.